Alrighty guys, so we're at the back food plot that you all have seen. This one's done alright. Actually, this one wasn't doing very well in the beginning of the summer, but as the end of the summer came, it actually turned out doing really well. It's kind of spotty. Some spots didn't really get, like the spot I'm standing in, it's pretty bare, but still not a lot of weeds. There are a lot of weeds throughout the plot, but you would think it would take over right where it's bare, but it wasn't bad at all. We're going to be planting the autumn buffet here, see how it does with the clovers and the brassicas and stuff. We'll probably plant pretty much this whole bag, to be honest, because we're no-tilling and you really want to plant a little extra heavy. And hopefully that'll keep some of the weeds out. But we're gonna go ahead and start doing this, and once we get done with this plot, we'll head down to the next one. So right here we're fixing to crimp our buckwheat and brassicas and turnips and pretty much everything, including weeds. It'll all turn into thatch, and I'm just now editing this video a couple weeks after, and I'll go ahead and tell you we've been in a drought, and seeing the no-till work has been amazing. And I will be updating you guys on the food plot as it goes through the fall. Now if you watch here, I'm having some trouble with my food plot, and the roller you all see me build, I did some adjustments to it, and I'll talk about it here later in this video if you just stay tuned. But what you're seeing here is the top wheels. I have bolts running through the frame holding them down, and the bolts are hitting my roller blades. So that became an issue, and I had to actually remove the bolts to get it to roll. But since then, I've got the wheels fixed, and I'll be making a video on that. So if anybody tries to copy this design, hopefully it'll give you a little better idea of what works, because these wheels do not work unless you have less weight. This cultipacker weighs between 350 and 450. Alrighty guys, so we are heading to the back of the property right now. I'm gonna finish showing you all the fall food plots we planted the other day. I got a little video of it. I think it was so hot. I think it was like my trail camera took a picture and it said it was 107 while I was out here. So I don't know how hot it actually was, but it was hot, and my camera battery just instantly, almost all of them just died as soon as I put them in the camera. I'll show you all here quick. Roller crimper we got that I made. It just connects to the hitch right there. built the frame. Really happy with the way the frame turned out. It's really strong. It'll hold up all the weight of this Cultipacker. The only thing I gotta finish doing is putting these here. Those were plenty enough. Just those little 1/2-inch pieces. It pretty much crimped everything, and the weight of this was great too. The only thing I'm really gonna do different is I'm gonna take some screws and drill through the metal into the concrete, because the sheet metal kept wanting to shift. So that's not too big of a deal, still worked and everything. I am gonna do away with these wheels. This one is flat anyway, so I gotta take it back, but I'm just gonna take them both back. I like the idea of them up here, but the problem is there's so much weight here that it was everything I could do to get it flipped over. So I got some used tractor tires, just the ones that come off the front, I think is the ones I'm gonna go with, and they have like a 5/8 inch bore, and I'm gonna weld me a piece of 5/8 inch round rod somewhere right here. That way it's kind of more centered, and then I can just pretty much roll it right over, and it should work pretty good. So instead of having to have so much leverage to roll it over, so we'll go check out these food plots and show you guys how well it crimped everything. Alrighty guys, so you can see here, this was a real tall little field we planted, and pretty much everything is crimped. See this buckwheat right here. Probably crimped it a little late, but we'll see how it does. We'll see if we get any regermination from that. Had a few weeds come up in it. I didn't spray this time, so we're gonna see how it does. But it did really roll it really well. I was happy with the way it worked. Golly, scared me to death. I think that's some fertilizer or something I spilled. Curious if the deer have been in here yet, trying to pull any of these turnips and stuff out of the ground. There's a little one. There's some bigger ones in here. Ouch. There's a thorn. Didn't have huge turnips and brassicas this year, but I was pretty happy just to see them grow, to be honest. Especially in this plot, because I was afraid this plot wasn't going to have any growth at all. But that's plenty enough for deer to eat, and hopefully it'll also help the soil plenty. That's what we replanted in here, was clovers and brassicas. So there's more. This side of the plot grew turnips and brassicas really well, actually. And this was the weediest side, so that was interesting to see. But you can see our little trophy rock we got here, pretty much gone. So hopefully this turns out to be a pretty good hunting plot. Planning on actually hanging a tree stand, this tree right here. Either that or putting a blind somewhere right here. I think a blind would be really good for this plot. it's turned out pretty well. It's kind of a little hidey hole. I think this is honestly where a lot of the bucks will come through, check out and everything, just because it's covered up, you can't see in here, and they'll probably feel the safest here. I used to have my camera set up over here, but I moved it to this other plot we got, so, and it's just down the hill, and they've been hitting it, and we're getting quite a few pictures, so I'll make sure to put them up there too. So let's head over here and check out the other food plot. Alrighty guys, so here it is. I expanded this plot quite a bit this year. I'm hoping it'll do well. We'll see. On this side, I planted all clover, and then on the existing part, this is where we planted our summer plot. I planted at the very bottom, I had a little leftover of that autumn buffet, which has the clover and the brassicas mixed, and I wanted to see how it did too. So I just went ahead and seeded the very edge of it with that, and then the rest of it is with brassicas, pretty much to right here. There's already a lot of clovers in this, so it'll be interesting to see how it does. Didn't get quite as good of a roll over here because there's a lot of weeds and short grass, but this summer plot rolled right over, and I was real happy with it. See if we can find any old brassicas in here. There actually might be a little sprout right there. The seeds are so small, it'd be hard to see them, but yeah, it rolled this field really well. So we'll see how if it stays like that or what happens. And I'll be curious to see how this one turns out. I didn't spray it or nothing. Spraying ain't getting rid of these weeds that really don't crimp that well. Like all this clover, even if you spray it, a lot of it will come back. Or it just won't die. But yeah, I was pretty happy with everything the way it turned out. So, hope y'all enjoyed this episode on Fern Feather Outdoors. We'll keep giving you all updates throughout the fall as this seed starts germinating and growing, and just stay along the journey with us. This is my first fall food plot ever planted, so it'll be interesting to see how it does. We'll probably bring some fertilizer out here because I did a soil sample after I planted the fall or the summer food plot, and it was really high in potassium but really low in phosphorus. So we'll get some of that out here, probably throw the nitrogen to the brassicas, and hopefully we'll get some pretty large bulbs for them this year. And yeah. So that's the same thing with this plot. Maybe you guys know more about it than I do. Everything I planted on this top row really didn't grow that well, and I fertilized it and everything the same this year, but the bottom side was super thick, and like the brassicas and grapes and everything, they grew really well and grew bulbs on them, and the peas as well. But even like the brassicas that did grow up here, I mean, they didn't grow any bulbs. They barely sprouted. They were as tall as this clover right here. So y'all let me know your thoughts on that. It was the same thing with the other plot. I don't know if where it's kind of slanted, if everything gets washed down or what. But y'all give me your thoughts, and we'll see you on the next one.